warmed our hearts for 10 years as Zoe Johnson on Blackish and the spinoff Grownish. Since then, she's graduated from Harvard, become a successful producer, and now she's inspiring people everywhere with her new podcast, The Optimist Project. Please welcome Yara Shahidi.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited you came back. I love it.
Yes, of course.
Well, you know, I remember you were here last time, and that was the year for your year of yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're almost done with 2024. It's coming to a close. What's the year been like?
So, 2022 was my year of no.
Okay.
2023 was my year of yes. 2024 was my year of why not.
All right.
And I've had so many new experiences because of it, because I just thought continuing to try something new would be the expansive approach to 2024.
All right. Now, I love this, Yara, but it's a lot of people mad at you 2 years ago because you kept saying no. Then you changed your mind, you said yes.
I said yes. They just caught me at the wrong time.
They caught you at the wrong time?
Or the right one on the wrong
Oh, the right
day.
one. So I think people who ask you something, you go no, they go, well, if I just wait 2 years, she gonna change her mind.
Yeah. I tell them to just hold out.
Just hold out.
2026.
Now, you just wrapped up Grownish. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a wonderful show. You said goodbye to Zoe Johnson. So how do you feel about now you close that chapter?
I mean, I'm just so grateful. It marked exactly 10 years of my life because I started Blackish. I just turned 14. Like a week ago.
Wow.
And then I turned 24 at our Grownish rap party. So my cast sang me happy birthday.
Did they?
Yeah.
But 10 years, you know, when you go for, that's 10 years with this character, you know her, you've been, I mean, it's so much evolution from 14 to 24. Is it like a mourning or is it an excitement to try something new?
I mean, I'd have to say there's an excitement to try something new and just like a deep gratitude that I've been able to tell Zoe's story for so long. I was able to leave with the satisfaction that we got to share so many experiences with the world and really grow up with our audience in real time. And so I feel like it was nice to be able to say goodbye in a way that we all felt very proud of.
Yeah.
And it is surreal. I've been on this show for 10 years and now it's been exciting. My first time without school, without a full-time shooting schedule to carve out what's next.
Now it's just you're a little bit freer to do
just a little bit.
and do the why not this year, yeah? I gotta tell you, I came up to see you and say hi to you in the dressing room. But one thing, the one woman I wanted to see was your mama. Your relationship with your mother warms my heart so much. Oh my gosh. Every time I've seen you accept awards and you were really effusive about thanking your mother. Now, how did you navigate that, Yara, with growing up in real life and then on screen, both of you sharing experiences at the same time?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to thank the Yara Shahidi, the wonderful woman that she is, because I think where our partnership has always worked, not only as mother-daughter, but as friends and as business partners, is that we're always in conversation about quality of life. And I think she's the one that really set the standard to say that acting is something that we do, but it's not who we are. And so she always ensured we live, like me and my brothers, we're all encouraged to live very big lives. And I think even our evolution into co-founding this production company together and being on these business endeavors together is because there's no one I'd rather be in business with than someone that anyone who knows her knows witty, brilliant, like such a sharp mind, but also just so deeply caring. And I think because we're trying to make an impact in the world about how we tell stories, it's nice to have a partner that is as value-driven. And I mean, if anything, taught me my values to begin with.
Oh my gosh, your mom's an artist. She was also an actor, and your brothers. You have so many artists in your family. But one thing I didn't know your father was an artist. He was Prince's principal photographer.
Yes.
Okay, you got to tell me about, because I love Prince, and your father was there. Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say these were the surreal growing up moments that I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't understand just how legendary it was to have spent any time in his presence as a kid. But he was really the first person that sent our family on this creative path, because I think one thing we'll always say about Prince is he made things a family affair. So of course, you know, my father was his principal photographer. They traveled around the world together, shot music videos, album covers, concerts, and he has such a beautiful collection of images. But more than that, we also got to go on tour stops. So there's pictures of me and my younger brother in the Hawaii tour book. And, you know, because I think it speaks to who he is as a person. So many people we know are the kids of people who worked alongside Prince, because it was always that family environment.
Oh my goodness. Did he have any, you know, you've been on TV for 10 years. Did Prince, I don't know, was he supportive of that?
Beyond supportive. One of my favorite moments to share, again, that speaks to just who he is when my first movie came out with Eddie Murphy, Imagine That. He rented out a movie theater so that people could watch it, and had copies of it.
Oh my gosh. I just remember, I love Prince so much when he called me on stage to dance with him. And you know, he was trying to take his hand out of mine, but I wouldn't let it go. What a wonderful person he was. So to have that relationship with him.
It's so special.
It must be special. And then even more, like, I'm going, you even have, your family tree is absolutely insane. Another thing I didn't know, I did not know that Nas is your cousin. Is your cousin. And that Nas, the great, inspired you to go to Harvard.
Yes, he did.
You gotta tell me about that.
Oh, I mean, I think the one thing people know about him just through even his music is just how smart he is. And he has such a deep passion for our culture and for education. And so the first time I got to step foot on Harvard's campus was when he was announcing a fellowship for graduate students that were studying hip hop. Because Harvard has this wonderful hip hop archive started by Professor Morgan. And it was the first time that I saw Black and brown students in an Ivy League environment. I was always a nerd, always straight A's, but I just didn't even think there was space for me at Harvard. But he had the foresight to say, hey, he called my mama and said, like, hey, I think that Yara would really enjoy coming. And so we went. It was me, Mommy, his daughter Destiny, and I just remember it made such a impact on me that I worked so hard through high school to then be able to claim my spot at Harvard. But it started because of the experience he created.
With Nas. And you've now 2 years graduated from Harvard? You better go, girl. I love this. You were 24 years old. You have a lot of freedom now. You're branching out into producing. You are a Harvard graduate. And I see you at the Knicks game, wilding out. You out in these streets now. You know, now you're free. What are you doing out here?
Ooh. I feel like every time you see me outside, it's me trying to get inside. Like, I'll be outside for a cute 2 seconds. I'm like, it's time to go back inside. But a part of my year of Why Not has just been continuing to just curate new experiences. It was my first time courtside. I had a great little time.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, I am. I have like such wonderful friends. And I think part of my year of crafting what 24 looked like was just having more moments with friends, more experiences traveling. I used to tack things on to work, and that's always fun, but it's been my first time really carving out time, like, oh no, I'm here just to hang.
You are just hanging, great. As you should be. You should be hanging, taking care of self. And I love it but you don't rest on your laurels, because now you have this very exciting new podcast called The Optimist Project. Can you tell us about The Optimist Project?
Yeah, of course. Well, first I have to say, I do have a little something for you.
Oh, what do you have for me? Oh, I love gift. What is this?
Merch made just for you.
Oh, it says Optimist.
It says Optimist, but more importantly, it says it backwards so that when you see it in the mirror, it's an affirmation to yourself.
This is what I like.
But we wanted you to be the first to rap.
You did not waste your money at Harvard. I'm gonna tell you, girl. This is what I like. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna wear this because I am an optimist. So what is the Optimist Project?
Well, the Optimist Project really came from two spaces, I'd have to say. again, the beautiful part of having my mother as a business partner is we're always talking quality of life. We're always talking about how to be purpose-driven and how to figure out what our next adventures are, but also how to maintain that sense of joy and happiness. And so some of it came from the fact that we were having these conversations and just wanted to know what other people thought, because we realized optimism has to be cultivated actively. It's not something you stumble into. And then the other thing that we realized is that we've had so many special opportunities to be in rooms of real change makers across industries. And so many times we walk out of those spaces with some sort of life-changing conversation, a bit of advice we didn't know we were gonna need to hear. And so a lot of the guest list is people that we've already talked to that we're inviting back on to hear the practical tips. It's not even about career, but it's about what sustains them in between doing the things that we see them do.
I'm so glad that you're starting this, because I always say optimism and you know, having joy, you have to be intentional about joy and about being having optimism in your life.
So I'm hearing you'd come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I'll come on that podcast.
Thank you.
You know, as long as you get me in between hot flashes, I will be right there for you, girl.
We got it.
But what, you know, you being a young woman, and there's so many young people out here who are trying to find their way. What advice, any kind of practical advice, could you give a young person who's out here? Sometimes it's a scary time for young people.
I'm trying to find my way, quite honestly. I think when I talk to my friends and other people that are in their 20s, the thing that we're working on is we can acknowledge that it's okay to be overwhelmed. There's a lot happening. I think as a community, as a culture, as a generation, we're going through so much, and oftentimes we're taught to power through. And I think that perseverance is really important, but just sitting with the fact that it's okay to be overwhelmed, you're not going crazy to feel a little overwhelmed by it all. But I think the thing that I always go back to is that you're only as good as your support network and the people around you. And I'd have to say, through all of the ups and downs of being in my 20s and trying to figure out who I want to be, it's really the fact that I have such lovely people around me that I'm able to recenter and keep it pushing. And
that's one of the things, being intentional about finding the people around you.
Yeah, family, chosen family, mentors, anybody can be a part of that group.
I'm so glad you came.
I'm so happy to be here.
If anything from my T-shirt, I love it. The Optimist Project drops tomorrow, and you can listen to new episodes every Wednesday on the Sirius Xm app or wherever you listen to podcasts. And we'll be right back. Yara Shahidi.